chicky boom, chicky boom, chicky boom.
We made the game.
What's the matter with spaghetti? Okay.
You were good, kid. Real good.
You love me. You really love me.
I take it from what I read that as a kid, that you would stand in front of the mirror in the bathroom and just try all the faces.
Yeah. I would sit for hours in the mirror and just, you know, just constantly change and then find things and go, oh, that looks like Sammy Davis Jr. You know, like that kind of stuff. And Henry Fonda on Golden Pond. You know, I would just like find faces in the mirror, and my parents were so worried about it. They were freaking out all the time about, like, they tried to scare me with the devil. They said I'd see the devil if I kept looking in the mirror, and you know what that does for a kid. You know, so next thing you know, you got like black candles and a hood over your head. You know, and you know, so it never discouraged me, really. I spent a lot of time in my room, though.
Did you feel once you got the face, you had the character? Do you feel now that if you've got...
It's a weird thing. At first it used to be the mirror. You know, I worked from the outside in, and now it's like I kind of go from the inside out, but the physicality is still there naturally. It's just kind of something I taught myself, so it just happens. You know, if I say, well, I wanted to be to the epitome of sad clown, you know, it would come from inside, and then suddenly it would be like, you know, it would happen, you know, but it comes from another place now. It comes from the inside out.
When did you realize that you could make people laugh?
Actually, that's wrong. It all comes from my groin.
Is that where it comes from?
Well, Freud would say. No. Well, I've always done it. Always put on shows for the family. You know, I was the kid, you know, like, people come over at Christmas time, suddenly Jim's throwing himself down the stairs, you know, and then, you know, getting up and doing it again in slow motion, you know, and just trying to make people laugh until they cry in my living room, you know.
At school, they had the class clown because it made you popular, or because...
It was grade 2. It was funny. I really was very, very shy in school until, like, grade 2. Suddenly in music class, I suddenly started mocking the record. You know, I was at the back of the class going, you know, doing all this this mockery of the music, and the teacher tried to center me out. She said, you know, she tried that teacher trick. You know, if you're gonna fool around, get up and do it in front of the whole class, trying to embarrass me. And it was like a decision. It was like the fork in the road at that point, you know. And it was like, well, either you're gonna like sit down and take this, or you're gonna get up and do it, you know. And I just told myself to get up and do it, and I did it. And the class went insane, and the teacher was laughing, and next thing you know, I was like the star of the Christmas play, you know, and they were all singing "Here Comes Santa Claus," and I was Santa doing this wild dance and stuff, and it was like, never looked back after that. I was, like my dad used to say, I'm not a ham, I'm the whole pig.
But true that there was a teacher, again, who'd simply say as a compromise, a deal,
yeah,
do your class, do your work, and at the end of the class, we'll give you 15 minutes.
She was smart. She was very smart. She gave up that 15 minutes for a whole day of peace. Because, yeah, I was pretty wild.
But it wasn't just making people laugh, it was performing.
Oh, Jim bit me! That kind of stuff. Get him off! You know, but I would just finish my work first and then, you know, okay, let's go on the prowl.
Excuse me, gentlemen. Head detective.
Listen, pet dick, how would you like me to make your life a living hell?
Well, I'm not really ready for a relationship, Lois.
Do anything to embarrass me in front of camp.
What? Like this?
Hi, Captain Steubing.
Here's something.
Do not go in there.
How about the physical side of your comedy? When did you realize that you could actually do the pratfalls and make people laugh, and that you were so physical?
That's none of your damn business, and I'll thank you to stay out of my personal affairs.
What the hell is this? The Spanish Inquisition?
No, that was right from the start. That was right from the start. I don't know when, I guess, well, my mother tells me that when I was a baby, I used to get out of eating my food by shaking myself into what looked like an epileptic fit. And the whole family would start laughing, and my food would get cold, and then I wouldn't have to eat. You know, and she would sit there and get so angry. She would say, "Do not look at him! Do not look at him!" And I'd just be sitting there going, as a child. So I don't even remember that, but obviously it was an instinct.
But there are even stories that when you got to Vegas and you were leading act for someone like Rodney Dangerfield, that you'd walk off and he'd say, "Man, you're weird."
Yeah.
You're not just funny, you're
Rodney
weird.
used to watch me from the wings in his house coat, you know? He sits back there in his house coat and watches me, and he'd be laughing. But he's laughing for a different reason. He's laughing. I'd come off stage, and he'd say, "Man, they thought you were from another planet." You know, and just we'd sit backstage and, you know, talk about how clueless the Vegas audience was. Because they are pretty much clueless.
Are there any drawbacks to success?
I guess, you know, the fact that I never go out anymore. The boy in the glass tower. "Can I play with the other kids, Ma?" "No. They'll look at you funny." You know, you want to see my impression of the look of fame? Just stand up for just a second. This is when you know. This is when you know you're starting to get famous. When people look at you like this when they walk by. Okay, just stand there. This is the look of fame. It's this. You get a lot of that, just walking around. You know, you'll walk through a store and stuff, and people start going. They get dazed as they're walking by you. I don't know what it is. It's the walk of fame. All right.
Jim, do you need bad reviews to succeed? Does that please you when you get bad reviews, despite the...
No, I want everybody in the world to love me. That's why I'm here. Yes. I don't like bad reviews, but you know, they keep you on the ground. They keep you centered, I guess.
You won't stop. I mean, are you afraid to stop working now?
I'm not afraid. I just want to lay some stuff down, you know. While I have a little heat behind me, I just want to get some work done.
You can't stop while you're smoking them.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for talking.
All right.